last soundbite, we looked at a couple of ideas based around the E minor and A minor chord shapes. Now I want to show you one more shape that I find useful to create licks over minor chords. And it's based on the C minor shape. Now actually we don't often play the open C minor chord for reasons that are quite obvious. It's really awkward to finger as a 5-string chord and even as a 4-string chord. It's not that easy, and in both cases much easier just to use the A minor shaped bar chord, and sounds a lot better as well. But as a movable concept, the C minor shape has a number of interesting properties. Let's take a look at the diagram. To help us understand the makeup of this shape, I'm starting in the diagram on the left with the C major chord, something we're all nice and familiar with. Now look at the right hand diagram and you can see that to get from C major to C minor, I've made 2 changes. So starting with our familiar C major shape, it's this note here that we first need to change. That's the E, the 3rd in the key of C, needs to come down to the flat 3rd, E flat. The G stays open here, the C we keep there at the 1st fret. And then the E on the top string, we can't take that down to E flat, so we're forced to take it up to the G note here at the 3rd fret, thereby doubling up on our 5th note, the G. So that's how we end up with this very awkward to finger 5-string shape for C minor. However, when we take the open G string into account, we can see a useful little triangle shape on strings 2, 3 and 4. And when we add in the other 2 notes on the 5th and top strings, we get the shape I refer to as the flying V. At least, that's what the shape makes me think of. To locate this chord, when we start moving it around, I generally use this root note here on the pinky. So there we got C minor. Let's move that up to the E there at the 7th fret on the 5th string for E minor. And just as when we are with our major chords, we use that little slide or hammer on from minor 3rd to major 3rd. As being very effective. We can do a similar thing with minor chords, going from the 2nd note of the scale to the minor 3rd. So that's from the bottom octave there, and here from the top octave. Particularly effective if we then bring the 5th off the top string into play as well. Another trick with this shape is to sweep picket. This is where we play the first 4 notes with the pick going straight across the strings. Then jump over the top string and come back down in a similar fashion. And then jump over the 5th string and start the process again. And some people really really go in for this and practice that for hours and hours and hours on end and end up doing that at a blindingly fast speed. I'm not one of those people, so I'm not going to try and demonstrate it. You can also get quite a nice effect by pairing up the notes on adjacent strings in this shape and playing them as sliding double stops. This is particularly suitable for fingerstyle playing. On 3 sets of shapes here for minor chords. The E minor shape, the A minor shape, and now the C minor shape. I'd like to show you a couple of runs that join all these shapes together. And again, the secret to working these runs is to focus in on that little semitone gap between the second and the minor third in each octave. Our first example is rooted on the open E string. So let's use E minor to demonstrate this. So that's the open E, and then with my second finger I'm hammering onto the second fret, sliding it to the third. That's my second to minor third in the bottom octave of this scale. Then straight up the arpeggio with the first finger. So there's our new root note, and again we focus on the second to the third. Straight up the arpeggio. Then slide this second finger up to the second string at the 8th fret and then play our descending minor arpeggio there. So notice how this links the E minor shape with the C minor shape and then A minor shape. Here's the tab. As it's not always convenient to start a run off the 6th string, here's a similar run that's rooted on the 5th string. So this time we start on our first finger. Here I am at fret 7 on the E on the 5th string, and I'm hammering on my third finger and sliding it at the same time. Going up the arpeggio with my first finger straight across those 2 strings. That's at fret 9. Then repeating the same idea here. My third finger sliding from fret 11 to 12, but then going straight across like that, and you recognise that as being the bottom end of the E minor shape. And then I'm just adding in again the second note of the scale and the flat third, and coming back to my root notes. Here's the tab for that. Finally, notice that between these 3 chord shapes and 2 connecting runs, you have an approach to playing over minor chords that will enable you to cover the whole fretboard, no matter which minor chord you're playing over. So in our example of E minor, I can start here work my way down the A minor shaped arpeggio pattern, and I can start the next run off the 5th string. Similarly here I can work my way down the E minor pattern and I'm back to where I started. But supposing I was playing over a B minor, well, I may start here on this B here on the 5th string. I'll use the 5th string run. Then work my way down the E minor pattern and start my E string rooted run here. And then I'm back into the A minor shape there. And so on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little mini series on chord-based licks. In the next lesson, we're going to put our attention back on the picking hand and go over some of the basics of something called Travis picking. If you found this little video interesting, please click on the like button if there is one, or leave a comment, and do feel free to share the video with your friends. And if you'd like to gain full access to all our guitar teaching materials, please visit the Secret Guitar Teacher site and take a free look round at what's available there. See you again soon.